Hello and good evening. It is the AFL Armchair Advisors. We are back in the studio for round 20. Lockouts lifted. We're back. We're out. It's White Boy Summer. It's White Boy Summer. That's the only way you can celebrate a lockdown lifting, with White Boy Summer. Yeah, get it.
You ready?
Get them done. Get them done. Absolutely.
Power down, Desmond.
Power chug. Oh, jeepers. The boys are going hard early. I bought this bad boy along for the ride this evening. Hang on. Let me get this out. If you're listening on the pod, you're not going to see this operation that I've got going.
That actually wasn't that bad. That was all right.
It was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
That was all right.
I'm happy
Just
with
that
that.
I'm no longer a seltzer virgin.
Yeah, it works.
Oh,
He's leaking out.
It's White Boy Summer.
He's leaking out.
It's White Boy Summer. We are back for round 20 of this AFL season 2021. Oh, that was one of the hardest weeks of a lockdown of my life, boys. I'm frothing for round 20. Time to rip into it. There's some dud games. There's some elite games. I'm frothing. I can't keep this on my head all
I was
night.
going to say, there's a good chance I take one of those off
It feels like it's just going to go
Des got the
ass
taste.
over biscuit. Yeah, go on, man. Get into it.
He's
Des.
How
got
are
the
we?
taste for it.
How are we all today?
Yeah, I'm stupendous. How are you?
I'm superb.
I'm fantastic.
I'm feeling real good.
We're
man.
out. We're out of lockdown, boys.
I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm in the minority. I love lockdowns.
I hated it. I was working full time.
I love sleeping in and just hanging out and doing whatever I feel like all day. It's the best.
I hated it. I was
The best.
working full time.
Des just powered through too. He's on.
I love it.
He's on here.
No, I actually secretly enjoy lockdown too. Obviously not with the ramifications of
No.
some of the things that we see. I feel bad for the guys that have, on a serious note, you do your 14-day quarantine and you're 4 or 5 days in, then they notify you've actually been in this hotspot and then you got to start again. Far out. Feel for you guys if you have to
sucks.
do that.
And again, other people
man.
who own their own businesses, I can understand there's some financial ramifications there, and heart goes out to you. We do
But
understand that. But
on a personal note,
level, love it.
Oh, lockdown is the best for me.
And bless up to the Cobs in Sydney. We're all thinking of you.
Yeah.
That must be tough. RIP on
out.
that one. Yeah, look, we're just here to celebrate. It's round 20. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, please. We do love it. We love bringing you fresh, spicy content of a weekly basis. Chaps, I think it's time we ripped into all 9 games. What do you
Let's
reckon?
do it. Before we do that,
hit
that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, YouTube.
I think I
Let's
said
get
that.
on it. Like, share,
Do it again.
subscribe,
No, say it
baby.
again.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yes, sir. All right, let's kick White Boy Summer off. Can I just say, before we rip into this, White Boy Summer, it's in your heart, okay? We are white, and we are of the male persuasion when it comes to genderific specifics. So don't add us with any of that racial stuff. Anyone can get involved. You can be some sort of an African...
A furry.
Lady, furry. Get involved in White Boy Summer.
Anyone.
It's for the people. It's for the people. As is the AFL. As is round 20. Let's kick it off like a dead leopard's head, as Chopper Reed would famously
Well, this
say.
game is literally a dead leopard's head.
A dead leopard as well. I love it. It is the St Kilda Saints versus the Carlton Blues at Marvel Stadium, Friday night. Boys, we're celebrating big time because nobody at Carlton is right now. Sensible Dan, who's winning this one?
I'm going to be picking the Saints here, boys. Saints 1-39. We saw last week, Rowan Marshall being out did hurt the Saints, as we all expected it would do. And I think they were genuinely a Rowan Marshall away for winning that game. The Eagles weren't good. The Eagles weren't fantastic. It was the Saints for the taking. They just couldn't get it done. Paul Hunter battled valiantly, but that's about all he can do because he's Paul Hunter.
Exactly.
You know,
There's a very good reason that he sat on the Crows list for 3.5 decades.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say.
I don't even know who Paul Hunter is.
That'll do it.
Well, he lost his job to Kieran Strawn.
I should tell you what you need to know.
So
Hey, Kieran Strawn's been dominating the SANFL this
well,
year.
that's good for him.
and the SANFL.
And may he long stay there and dominate.
Exactly.
McGarry's all around for the boys. Look, Blues though, lost to North. Disgraceful behaviour.
That tells you what you need to know, doesn't it?
They didn't lose to North.
Disgraceful
They got
behaviour.
pants by North. Absolute pants.
The only one that didn't was Walshy, and he had his probably worst game of the season.
He did.
I would say. He really struggled with the Dry Simpkin tag pretty much all day. I just got nothing left to say about the Blues. It's just another pathetic effort in 2022 and 2021. Sorry, I was going to say roll on 2022. But David T, got to go?
It doesn't have to go, but you know how these things go. They always demand a sacrificial lamb, a scapegoat, someone to sacrifice and say, look, no, we're making changes now. And it's like, no, it's not doing it. Like blokes like Adam Sard who are just obsessed about padding their own stat sheet and looking good because they're on fat money. That's where your problem lies. What's T going to do?
I dead set wish Zach Williams was obsessed with stuff in the stat sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't done anything.
No. And not
Nothing.
likely to.
He's
no.
done what
And
we've
he's
done.
injured
Got
now.
paid to
Again.
sit at home. He's not
bad.
even sitting at home, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, he was jealous of everyone on lockdown. He's going, no, I want a bit of this.
He's been studying from the Buddy Franklin book of financial security.
Yeah.
Rule 1, get injured all year, make money.
And then
How
when
easy is that, boys?
Well, I mean, look, argue it though. It works.
Well, this year it's not. This year it's like, oh, you know what, guys? Took the last 6 years off. What do you reckon play some games? Hey? What do you reckon about that one? Unbelievable.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure you guys are in the same boat. Blues, what do you say? Nothing really.
I think the whole of Australia, besides every West Coast supporter, was on the Blues train that last 5 minutes. Far out, like of the West Coast game.
You mean the Saints? They're on the Saints train.
What did I say?
Blues
train.
Oh, no one was on the Blues train.
Those
Far out.
two Celtics have gone straight to his head.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the Saints were going to actually do it. Like I was very, very hopeful. Like 3 goals in 4 minutes is a big ask, but
It's huge ask. It's
you
been
know,
done.
But what are Carlton going to do?
No,
they can't. They were like 50 points down to North Melbourne.
Carlton had 9 tackles in their last half of football
good luck.
against the Kangaroos, who kicked 7 unanswered goals, something like that.
The
People have 9
Rouge,
tackles in a quarter.
you could see the difference. The Rouge genuinely wanted to win,
Yes, they
and
did.
Carlton could not give a rat's ass.
Exactly right. Whereas the Saints, everyone's like, oh, the Saints lost against the Eagles and they're shite now. And it's like, well, look, you didn't get the win, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Fair enough. Saints had 27 inside 50s in that first half of football, which ended up being 6 scoring shots. Says a lot about the Eagles' backline and how well it stood up. Jay McGovern, take a bow. The Blues' backline is good in its... The individuals are good on their day. Blokes like Wiedering, blokes like Jones are good on their day. Are they playing as part of a cohesive backline unit? No, sorry, Bob, they're not. No. So if the Saints have another 27 forward 50 entries in that first half against Carlton, expect 13 goal 5.
And they obviously missed Mackay. That goes without saying. They hugely missed him. But realistically, when one player goes out, you should be able to rely on another unit to get the job done. They haven't got it.
They had nothing. They had absolutely nothing. And Mackay doesn't... What did they lose by? 38 points or something? Mackay doesn't equate to 38 points.
No,
I thought so.
I'm saying Saints 1-39. We're all agreed?
Yeah.
It's a very early consensual
Horrible
consensus.
Friday night game.
Good for White Boy Summer.
Do something else, Des.
Good for White Boy Summer.
Get a carton of seltzers.
Get a carton of seltzers, smash them down, go to bed.
30 and 30.
Yeah, that was going to cost me $300.
Jeepers, let's move on. It's the Saturday game. Absolute dog's breath, this game. And that's not a pun. This is the Western Bulldogs versus the Adelaide Crom at Mars Stadium in Ballarat. What more do you need to know? It's in Ballarat. Every time the Crows go there, they get pounded by whichever Dogs team it is that turns up, be it a good Dogs team or a bad Dogs team. It doesn't matter. The place is a B-grade oval with the wind knifing through like an executioner's blade.
Yep.
The Crows are not skillful in the slightest. They have nice patches where they do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A patch that's not going to win you a game. It's not going to win you a game against the Western Bulldogs. It's not going to win you a game against the Western Bulldogs in Ballarat. Crows to lose, 40 points. Thank you very much.
I got 4 Ps. Please prepare the poutine for pounding.
Jeepers.
And the Crows are the poutine.
And the Crows.
It's been a minute since I've heard that one. That's a nice callback.
Yeah,
And
very
the
much so,
Crows.
yeah.
The poutine.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40
Yeah.
plus.
well.
Do you know what? It was the best worst win of Adelaide's season of Adelaide's probably history, because I did not want Adelaide to beat Hawthorn. I really wanted that number 1 pick. Now they've won. This is our punishment.
I
punishment.
actually do strongly suspect, though, I think the Crows might genuinely try to trade up for Jason Horn. North don't need another midfielder. They're stacked with midfielders already. Cunnington, he's coming to the end of his career, but Simpkin, Anderson, you got Will Phillips, Tom Power, Taron Thomas. Like that's probably the one position group where you look at it and you think that's good. Like you don't really need to fix
I'd
it
love
up.
us to trade up.
They
need
need probably another ruckman. They need another key forward to help out Zerha and Larky, and they certainly need some backmen, some proper backmen. They don't need Jason Horn.
So what do? Send them Kieran Strawn, send them Billy Frampton and
Talia. Talia.
I reckon oh no, but you could do that. All right, let's say Strawn. Well, now Talia's only going to want to go to somewhere that's who's Fisher? Fisher Magazine. No, he just signed up too. I reckon you send Strawn, you send Frampton, and you send pick 4 to assuming the Crows get pick 4 somewhere in there. For pick 1. Would that do it, or am I barking?
Don't know.
Probably not. They're two
probably
scrubbers.
barking.
Text.
Yeah. Probably barking.
Imagine.
Frampton,
Frampton.
He's just a bloke.
yeah. And Strawn, same sort of deal. But It is there to be had, I reckon. I think North, it would behoove North to get some more experienced players in the door and also get some draft picks in
And
the
this
door.
conversation is more interesting than this Ballarat game.
I just realised we are not talking about the game that we should be talking about. I tell you what.
What is there to talk about?
No, I liked...
Dogs 40 plus?
Beatdown.
Dogs 40 plus?
Well, it's Dogs 40 plus. But if you're,
Potentially 100.
Mark 2.
if you're a Dogs fan, I like Shaki in the back line. And I can't believe him saying that. That was an inspired choice. At long last, you know how like a broken clock is right twice a day? At long last, Beverages spun the magnets and put a bloke in a random spot, and it's actually been a brilliant call.
The funny thing is, he's done that to literally just about everyone else on the roster, as every fantasy player out there would know who's ever owned Caleb Daniel, Jack McRae, Marcus Bontempelli, anyone and everyone.
Keep going, yeah.
Everyone and everyone. Not Josh Shaki. Nah, he's a forward, bro. Played his best game in the AFL comfortably.
Boom, back line.
Comfortably, and against what is a reasonably good forward line.
Done a Lockie Henderson. That's what it is. Lockie Hendo full forward, straight to the back line.
The only other thing I'm going to say about this, we spoke about it a few weeks ago.
Go on then.
And you were both a little bit opposed to me. Rory Laird, to me, has to be in the All-Australian squad.
He will be, but he's not Victorian, so he won't get a game.
He has been lights out. 2 goals, 36 touches again on the weekend.
I'm not going to lean into the Victorian bias. There's been that many genuinely good midfielders this year that have been pressing.
And Laird has been right there with him.
I agree on that.
He should be in the 40.
He'll be in the 40.
He should be in the 40.
He has to be. He'd been
Would you
great.
put Tex in the 40?
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't know about...
He's not.
He's tailed off. Early on in the year, he was looking like Coleman Brownlow double.
Big lock.
Like
the brown man.
The brown man.
He'll be on like 9 Brownlow votes in like round 4.
Yeah.
And then he'll be on 9 Brownlow votes at the end of round 23.
Actually, just quickly, last game, did we have any bets?
Oh, crap. No, we didn't. We didn't have any bets in the last game, but... Jump on the socials, perfect time. Jump on the socials, Facebook, Armchair Advisors.
Like, share, subscribe.
Instagram, @ArmchairAD, and on the Twitters, the Twitter sphere, okay? We will dish up the bets for that game. Apologies, Priest, for not giving you those bets. We didn't give them, we'll give them on the socials, and we're going to do some bets now. What do you got?
I got Bont 25 plus, $1.32. I think that's just about lock of the century.
Big lockable.
Shut up.
You laughing at you, Claude. Don't talk to me.
Bont goal, $1.44. He's back in the goals last week, and just as we predicted as well. We said on the pod we weren't going to pick Bont for any time goal.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I'm laughing at these.
What? Oh, you just noticed that I'm wearing red sunglasses.
These are like 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street when they go to...
They're good, aren't they?
A child.
Yeah, stay focused.
And a Cody Waitman goal, big weight dog, $1.33.
Was that paying $1.33?
Yeah.
I thought it was about $1.14 when I looked last, but mate, that's aces if you can get it. You've been looking over my shoulder. Bont 25, Bont goal easy. Bailey Williams 15, Bailey Dale 20, Jack McRae 30, and Josh Bruce 2 or more goals.
Nice to see McRae back in form. Well, not back in form. He was never out of form, but
he was
back
trending
in his
upwards.
form. Back in his form.
He was a little bit out of form for him.
Yeah.
He was trending. He's trending.
I don't want to throw any shade.
Alrighty, move on.
Move on. Saturday at Blundstone Arena down in Tasmania. It is the North Melbourne Kangaroos versus the Geelong Cats. Desmond, who's winning this one, mate?
Well, like, I'm backing in Geelong here, but it's not going to be in round 1. What would we all have said? Or in round 4 or 5 when we've got to see North Melbourne. It's like, oh, well, it's going to be a beat down. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter whether it's in Tassie. Doesn't matter where it is. Could be in Egypt. Doesn't matter. But it could get hairy for the Cats here. It really could get hairy.
You reckon?
It could get... North Melbourne trending up as we saw. They did pants Carlton and they look great. They look great and they can get on the score. When they get on the scoreboard, like their forward line, old Suvlaki, you know his aunt is called Sue V. Larky.
I'm not having a word of that. No.
Did you know that?
I'm not having a
He has an Aunt Sue.
No, he doesn't.
It has an Aunt Sue in his middle name. Her middle name is V. Like on the driver's license, it's Sue V. Larky.
Right, if anyone out there can verify that, send us some sort
Useless
of
AFL
photographic.
stats. It was on useless AFL stats. Sue V. Larky.
I don't believe it. I'm not paying.
If so, that is potentially the greatest name of all time.
It's awesome.
Unbelievable.
But putting that aside, like they've been unreal. And when they get on the scoreboard, they can hurt teams. And Geelong they put themselves in positions where teams that can put themselves on the scoreboard. St Kilda could have shown us that. Remember St Kilda when they kicked 40 points in the first quarter?
So are you telling me you're pulling out a Des Dog and tipping North Melbourne?
Cats are going to win. Cats are going to win by 13.
See, I appreciate what you're trying to do.
Cats can put themselves into real hairy positions. I just don't think North Melbourne are good enough to pull the trigger.
I appreciate what you're trying to do and hype this game. I do appreciate it, but it's not going to happen. There is a very good reason that Geelong is sitting where they are and Carlton is sitting where they are.
North Melbourne.
No, I'm talking Carlton because North played Carlton last week and trounced them. That was your point.
Yeah.
Right.
Carlton are poo and got beat by North. Geelong are not poo. They will not get beat by North.
Carlton,
it's
Carlton,
Geelong by 40.
Carlton arguably played better than Geelong when they played.
I'm not hearing no more of this. The Cats are hitting their straps at just the right time
They
for
are
a finals
peaking at the.
push.
I've got that written right.
See?
I'm not a Cat hater. I want Cats to win the flag. Cats, dogs.
I need the Cats to win the
I need
flag.
any domestic pet to win the flag. That isn't a lion.
Yeah.
I think this will be a good test to see where North are at. Nothing more, nothing less. Cats, 40 plus, genuinely. Sorry. Blundstone makes it interesting. That's it.
All I would like to see, same as every other week with North, turn up, run your guts out, and give the Cats a bit of hell. That's all you can ask for a team in this position. We're not going to say if they get over the line, because they won't. They're not going to beat Geelong in Geelong's current format. The only thing, I'm not going 40 plus just yet because of that win down in Blundstone. Sometimes it's horrifyingly bad. So I'm saying 1-39.
You'd like to think, though, that if you're used to playing in a cauldron like GMHBA Stadium, that going to Blundstone wouldn't be too dissimilar. But I know what you mean. Like, we've seen teams go there and they get...
Either way,
they get their nether regions filled with...
It is a Cats win.
That's
all there is to it.
Bets-wise, let me talk about Paddy Dangerfield, anytime goal scorer. He seems to have hit his straps lately, and I'm all for it. He's in my fantasy team this week. Thanks for playing.
Good.
Grand Mash.
You sound like
Grand Mash.
Terrence and Phillip from South Park when you do that. I've been thinking about that. Because
Yes,
before the
fair.
pod, all he's saying is Grand Mash.
Just sitting outside, Grand
And I'm
Mash,
like, right.
walking around.
And I'm thinking, like, where do I know this? And it's
Terrence,
bigger, longer uncut.
Exactly.
we're talking about South Park movie, not your cock, right?
Jeepers. White Boy Summer.
White boy summer's on.
Brian Myers anytime goal. And I'm liking the triumvirate of evil in Tom Stewart, Isaac Smith, and Zach Tui to have 20 touches apiece. And then Big Paddy Doo to have 25 touches. Got no love for the North boys in this one. Sorry
Zach
about
Tui, wow. What a season.
it. That's paying about
Just
6
a shout out
bucks.
to
Yeah,
Zach Tui. He's always unreal. I think I say that every season. But
I've got no bets to add. It's hard to put North into your bets this week. Geelong's one of the best clearance teams in the comp, and that is North Melbourne's strength, but you're really going to back in guys like Simpkin and whatever to have 25 touches? I wouldn't.
Not really. No, Dunsky, you got a little scramble for us there?
I do have a scramble.
Can I have my
forgot about
glasses
the
back?
scramble.
Because I need a haircut so bad. Like, look
it is
at
tough, yeah.
look at this. Look at this. Hang on. What if I did like a full emo?
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of emo, looks like those emo kids on South Park.
I'll go for like white.
The ones that hang out behind the school
the
smoking.
vampires and
Yeah.
No, it's just bulk white boy
That
summer.
is so bad.
This is
You look
why I
like
need the
Little
sunnies.
Nicky. He looks like Adam Sandler and Little Nicky.
Yes, he does actually,
You
yes.
put on that side. And then you put on this side and it's good.
Yeah, and it's back
That's funny.
It's back once again
All right,
with the
this
Renegade
scramble
Master.
is a 4-question scramble today. It's not a big scramble. It actually probably might. Remember when we used to be 1 minute? It
Yeah.
might actually be 1 minute.
I'm sure all the listeners and viewers will be pleased to hear that information. To be honest.
I'll tell them now it won't be, so expect nothing. Go
All
on.
right, question 1 is a light question. Which AFL coach would be best at flip cup? It's White Boy Summer related. Flip cup.
Dewey.
Dewey?
Yeah, absolutely.
He would have played.
He would have seen his
too
way around a
powerful,
few beers before.
I think Bevo as well.
Yeah, Bev
You
was
can't have the last name Beveridge and not be good at flip
Yeah,
cup.
but look, have you seen the size of the pipes, mate? He's
Yeah.
huge. A feather touch is sending that thing into orbit.
And he's magic fingers. He's got his touch.
You know who I reckon would be good? Nixie.
Matty
Interesting.
Nix.
I reckon he'd be
Interesting.
good. I reckon he'd be.
Too professional.
He's got the touch god.
Bit of that.
Too professional.
Yeah, on the outside. All right. Travis Cloak versus Ben Keys. Who wins in beer pong? And don't say Cloakey loses because he can't aim because he's got a glove on.
Genuinely what I was
He's got a
thinking.
glove on.
Is it
He
glove
has
helps?
his glove.
The glove helps
But
nothing. I'm on keys.
Casey's been wearing a glove as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Boom.
fingerless versus fingers.
Look, there's
gotta be Keys.
There's no right answer here, so I'm just going to say Ben Keys.
It's got to be keys.
Bias.
Bang.
And you say I can't say Cloak because he's got no aim, but sorry, Cloak has no aim.
Track record. Ben Keys is...
We
I
had a
understand.
body of work.
Ben
Alright.
Keys is... He's got an ordinary aim as well.
It's not Cloak levels are bad.
All right, I'm going to take a couple of steps back in memory lane. It's a sack race while sculling one of these beautiful seltzers. Sack race while sculling a seltzer. It's a 20-metre sack race. Rue versus Anthony Koutafidis.
Cuda.
Rue,
Yeah.
like Marcus Rashudo.
Yeah, in their primes.
Oh, well now he's getting...
Rashudo.
It's still Cuda
Nah, Rashudo.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Because he got like his whole stick in the off season was to get as fat as humanly possible. That was the game.
Yeah.
You don't think he would have been sitting around doing stupid things like this?
No.
He would be very well versed. Kuda was at the peak of physical perfection. Have you seen his rig these days?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
unreal.
Still the peak of
He's
physical
my hero.
perfection.
That's
He
why I
wouldn't,
put
even,
him
he
on
wouldn't
there.
even know his way around a seltzer. One can of that and he'd be on his arse, mate. It has to be
Respect.
rude. It's gotta be
All
rude.
right, final question now. This is a big one. Which player is the all-time Mad Monday Cruiser drinking champion? Any age, any era. You got to give me a player and an age.
Dane Swan.
Yeah, it would have to be Dane.
Dane Swan. The man used to rock up to Sunday recovery sessions with a Gatorade bottle half full of vodka.
It would have to be Dane Swan.
It's got to be Dane Swan.
Like, no question, really.
That's
If anything, if he doesn't drink cruises...
What age is Dane Swan?
Any
at his
age
peak?
from
Between
18
now and
through,
2000.
I was going to say any age from 18 through 31.
Correct. 31, keep going.
Yeah, well,
The second he was able to talk,
Love
to
it.
walk,
Love
Dane
it.
Swan.
Has to be, mate.
Dane Swan
Respect
all
that.
day.
All right. That wasn't too bad, boys, was it?
that was all right.
That was all right. Yeah. Just depends on what your reference of bad and good is, really. Yeah, there you go. Saturday afternoon, fellas, we're talking about the Gold Coast Suns versus the Melbourne Demons. I'm not quite sure where this one's being played. Have they released the fixture and said where it's
Tassie,
getting
somewhere
played?
in Tassie, isn't it?
Surely not Tasmania
I
again.
think they wanted it to be in Tassie.
That was
I
vile.
think Dan.
My other question would be,
And TB confirmed. There you go.
the other question would be, does it even matter?
No.
Because I feel like this is very quickly unfurling into the consensual cast 2.0. Just- Gold Coast has been better. There's no two ways about it. The first half
They
against
have.
Brisbane, they actually pushed Brisbane.
They did.
And then they did what Gold Coast do,
Shit the bed.
shit the bed. Melbourne is coming off a bad loss to the Dogs. They're not going to want to lose again.
Just the Gold Coast, right? Gold Coast had the Doggies 2 weeks ago. Actually played okay. Lost by 11 points. Very, very respectable performance. Never going to win the game, but respectable. Brisbane, first half, fantastic. Like, really good. Considerably, like, better than Brisbane. And had Brisbane worried. Had Sportsbet worried, because I got Brisbane at $1.75. Kidding me?
Yep.
Of course they're going to come back. Chris Fagan's got the firecrackers at halftime ready to rumble, shove it up some asses. Number 3, now they've got Melbourne. Oh, poor.
Fixturing bias.
Getting pounded.
Why don't
in
we
the-
just hurt? Like at the
Yeah.
start of the season, we didn't think that, but far out, that's nasty.
The only real question here is, can the Demons win 40 plus?
Yes.
Their scoring has been so
Nah, they're going to be
pitiful.
real nasty. Ben Brown's going to go nuts.
Demons averaging 69 points a game over the last 6 weeks. They are 18th in the comp for accuracy.
Hey, what do you boys think
It
about?
has been a
18th
serious,
in the comp for accuracy.
What was that
serious
number?
drop-off.
What was that number?
69,
Yeah.
dude!
Nice.
What do you guys think? If you had to guess what my ATAR was, and I'm no cap here, like no cap, what do you think my ATAR was?
Well, 18th for accuracy, so I'll say 18.
69.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Bang.
Amazing.
Do you know how
Nice.
hard that was? I didn't actually try.
How hard is it
I
now?
thought it was so funny. And mum and dad disappointed to this day.
I'm not
To
surprised.
this day, they're like, oh, is that it?
Yeah, but now
Oh.
you're on a successful podcast and YouTube show.
That was my raw score. Another white boy summer reference right there.
I've had a gutful of this, I tell you. Suns just won't have the backline capabilities, tips to stop Brown, McDonald, Jackson, Wiedemann, whichever sort of merry-go-round combination the D's decide on. Yeah, they've been showing a bit, but I think, look, the second half is the true Suns up until this point. Demons looking shaky. They need to bank some points to hold on to top 4. They've got more to play for. I think they're going to work out whatever little sort of annoying sexual tensions they've got going on between them this week. Suns to get pounded.
I was real disappointed with the young Aleska Markov getting hamstring injury, injured for a few weeks. Hate that.
My sister watches about 2 AFL games a year.
Yep.
She was watching this game, and I'm like, look at this guy, Oleg Markov. Like, he's the man. Bang, hamstring, done.
Yep, done,
So,
dust.
she
But
didn't
in
watch the
saying
rest of
that,
the game now.
Jeremy Sharp,
Oh,
doesn't he look elite?
I love that
He's so
bloke.
good. And Braden Fiorini, he wants that bag, chasing another contract, and he is more than earning his money right now.
hugely so.
But yeah, look, gotta go D's. I'm gonna say 1 to 39 because I'm really worried about their ability to just like put teams to bed. They have literally not been able to do it for like well over a month now. As you
The Suns
said.
could hang around.
They could.
Are
Could
they
hang
in
around.
trouble of not making the top 4?
They're
They're only a game. They're a game and a sniff out. Sydney are coming.
A lot of that.
Brisbane are coming.
I'd have to see who they're playing, who they're finishing off with playing.
Well, that's
Well, they've
just
got
to
Geelong.
be
I
confirmed.
believe they've got Geelong.
They've got West Coast in 21.
So if you're going to say Geelong,
They've got West Coast, the Crows.
West Coast in Perth.
West Coast, the Crows, and Geelong to finish the round off.
so
with.
they're not beating Geelong in their current format.
They've got another 2. They've got 2 wins there.
I don't even know if they beat West Coast in Perth. They might miss out on the top 4 here. Sydney and Brisbane, if they win all the rest of their games, which is possible for both. Like if you look at this, we don't need to read it out, but if you look, Melbourne might be in real strife here. Port might
So they
sneak up to third.
got to bank these 4.
They are literally
is
doing the
very
anti-Geelong. They are dropping into the cavern at the wrong time of the year.
Yes, they are.
Geelong peaking and Demons troughing.
Troughing big time.
Hate it.
Speaking of troughing, you pigs out there, you love a punt. Why don't you stick your snouts in this trough? I'm talking Took Miller for 30. Christian Petracca for 30. Why not? Christian Petracca for an anytime goal. Why not?
He loves it.
Gorn for 15 against a ruckless Suns. Boom, he'll have that. My man Fiorini for 25. He'll do that. He had 41 last week. He'll have 25 today. And Big Jezza Sharp. Big Jezza Sharp for 20. Please.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Please. Don't know what that's paying. There's no markets up when we're recording this. I'm just vibing them. Because it's white boy summer.
Big vibes. Let's go.
I can just do that.
Let's go.
Here he is. Let's talk Saturday at the MCG. It's the Collingwood Magpies versus the West Coast Eagles. It's the 2018 Grand Final review. But these teams are in a big world of hurt compared to where they last were. Sensible Dan, talk to me here.
I actually think, really, these two teams could almost be the Spider-Man meme, just pointing at each other.
Yeah. Your shit. No, your shit.
The only real difference is the Pies just know that they're shit.
West Coast.
They know. They know. They're in a rebuild. They're acutely aware of it. Scott Pendlebury going down just drives the point home. The Eagles absolutely refuse to admit that they are not a good football team.
They're flying high.
And they're not.
They're the big birds.
West Coast
They
are
are
playing
not.
exactly like their song.
They're the kings of the big game.
They
Horrible.
are not. They're-
Horrible
They
song.
are not a good. They are not a good football team. Look, this week they'll probably get a win.
Yeah.
They'll probably get another win. But they just do nothing for me whatsoever. They play probably the most boring brand of football in the entire league. We already discussed it. I don't even know if they really deserve that win against the Saints, but
Someone had to win.
They got the job done. So whatever.
Yeah, Saints weren't taking it.
I just don't care for them.
This is scheduled to be at the G. It could be in Tasmania. Does that make a difference either way?
I'd love to see Collingwood win this game.
I'm
Personally,
exactly the
It'd be a
same.
laugh.
Like, you have to tip and you have to bet Eagles here. Like, if you are going to tip Collingwood in your tipping competition, because don't bet on this head to head. Like, you've got to be a numpty to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to tip Collingwood, you've got to be real far down the ladder because, like, you got to
be desperate for points,
and it might come off because Collingwood have played some okay footy. Like, they weren't horrible against Port. They kind of let it go down. One of the quarters, second or third quarter, I don't remember, but one of the quarters they really let Port
Know about it. Yeah.
But besides that, they were all right. They haven't been playing horrible footy.
And the Pies, all this stuff with the presidency, it's got to be hanging over the players' heads. It's
exactly what I'm
it's
thinking.
so bad.
100%.
All it is Jeff Brown and Mark Corder just throwing little pot shots at each other. It's just shut
And
up.
Eddie's just
You ever seen, like,
stop talking about it.
children.
You ever seen cartoons where there's like characters just doing that weird slappy thing
Yes.
against each other? That's genuinely what's happening
Yep.
in Collingwood's boardroom
Absolutely.
at the minute. Also, there's the chat about who's going to be their next coach. The words coming out of the big wigs at Collingwood, they want to have it done by mid-September, which is not that far away in the great scheme of things.
I didn't know that. That's good.
They've already
That's good,
interviewed
though.
Voss. They've already interviewed Kingsley. So they're looking at making a jump. The players will be thinking, am I playing for my contract here? Am I playing for my place in this team?
You know, I sent you through that list of players. There's a fair list.
It's a huge list.
There's a fair list of players who are on the precipice of not having a job.
That's probably the best thing for Collingwood at the moment. Like, obviously uncertainty and people losing their jobs isn't great, but for these young players, like some of them have been playing out of their skin. Like,
they have. Look, mate,
in spurts, because Collingwood haven't been playing great footy.
Pendle's out is all you need to know about this one realistically, and that's why I can't not say the
I've got
Eagles.
Eagles.
Eagles
No,
won
it's
to
gotta be
39.
Eagles.
Eagles 1-39 here. Let's talk bets.
One thing I would like to see next
go on
year,
then.
just quickly.
No,
just
please.
for next year for the Pies, hand the captaincy over to Taylor Adams.
Oh,
Get it
he's
done.
the man. He's like the most captain
What is he like?
that I've ever seen that isn't a captain.
Is he 29?
Nah, he's a bit younger than that.
I'll look it up.
Little bit
I
younger. I reckon he's about 26, 27.
If he's 29, don't give it to him.
Pendles, you're not going to get rid of him, and he can clearly still go again, but it's just time.
It is time.
It's just time.
New coach, new captain.
While you're changing everything, you might as well just do this as well. And Taylor Adams, he's just the kind of guy that you would go into battle for. He just fights tooth and nail.
27.
27.
Will be 28 in September.
He fights tooth and nail from first siren to last, and that's the kind of guy you want to go into battle with.
Assuming his hammy's hold out and he actually plays a full season. Look, I'm looking at crisp 25 touches, please, for the Pies. Steel side bottom 25. Now, I know he's not been doing that lately, but that's paying big money at the minute.
In the middle.
He'll be in the middle. There's no Pendlebury. He's going to have to step up. He has to step up. There's literally no one else.
Poor
Pendle's...
bloke. I feel bad for him.
And I agree with you. Just on a side note with Sidebottom, though, I actually reckon he's having one of his worst seasons I can recall.
Agreed.
He just looks disgraceful out there. All his disposal efficiency stats are down. He just doesn't look
In a rut.
right. He looks
Watching him in real life at Adelaide, I can't even disagree. And it sucks.
And we've seen him over the years do some amazing things with the footy in hand. He's one of the most skillful players I've ever seen.
Not this year.
Not this year.
No.
He's
Not
really
this year.
battling.
Horrible.
Sucks.
So Crispy and Sidebottom and Jordan De Goey 25 apiece. In fact, why not? Let's go Dom Sheed 25. 25. In fact, let's go Andrew Gaff, 25. It's just the 25. It's just 25. 5.25.
25 club.
But it's paying $10.50, that.
Nice. I had also had Yo for 20 plus, $1.46.
Yo, it's
and
magic.
obviously, also, Shannon Hearn's 300. So big respect to the farmer.
Bless up, the man from Ango, big bunger.
Shout out. He got 26 touches when I didn't even get 25 the other week.
Shout
out, mate.
Bless up to big bunger.
Always for the boys, is
Thanks,
bunger.
mate. Free pizza. Free pizza.
Let's have a little scan at the Saturday night fixture between the Bombers and the Swans. Also to be confirmed, I believe. Let me just check that one.
Last I looked, they were looking at the Gabba.
Yeah. At the G.
I was at the MCG now. Last I looked, they were looking at having it at the Gabba.
No, it is at the Gabba, sorry. Yeah, when I said it's at the G, literally just the letter
the G.
G.
Yeah.
At the G.
Random.
G.
Let me have a young look. Swans, masterful against Freo. Freo also self-imploded and losing Fife in the middle of your game. Not really helpful.
Mm-mm. They were masterful in that for 3 and a bit or 2 and a bit quarters. First quarter was average.
It was, but everyone fired when they were meant to.
That's true. That is true.
And a handful of blokes actually pulled their fingers out. I liked Papley's game. I know he kicked 1 goal 5, but he was likely
fighting.
He was a likely bloke.
If that's 1 goal, 5 goals 1 instead of 1 goal 5, monster.
And they're winning by a lot more than 40 points. Mills comes back after a spell.
Well, that's good.
That's huge. Mm-hmm. How good's that? Just a break. The man's just had a rest for a week, unenforced. Boom, he's going to be fresh as a daisy.
Minute I sent you that photo of him sitting on the hotel balcony.
The most depressed, forlorn.
He did not look real happy. No. So I can only imagine the Dons midfielders are in for a bit of a spanking. Bit of a spanking. He's
going to be there like Ariane Titmus's coach, shaking at the guardrails, trying to get inside.
That was awesome. Shout out to Arnie as well.
So good.
And Dean Boxall, shout out, mate. He's like TikTok famous now. He's like full famous.
Deserved it.
Well, that's the dream.
They all deserve famous. I
think the Dons doomed their finals chances against the Giants, genuinely, and I don't think the Giants are as good as what the Swans are ATM. So when you look at on average, if the Dons lose to the Giants and the Giants aren't as good as Sydney, then carry the one.
The maths doesn't normally
Sydney's
carry
got to
over,
win.
But this definitely does.
Sydney's got to win. Sydney 1-39 here.
Yeah, I'm going to tip Sydney as well. I find it hard to tip the Dons this week based on what they did last week. Parrish got tagged, so you can excuse having an ordinary game. But Zach Merritt, what on God's green earth was he doing?
He had a great first quarter.
Shot out of the great gate in the first quarter.
Horrible.
And then the rest of the game just absolutely
unexciting. He had a classic Merritt flat spot. You ever notice that he does this like every 7 or 8 games? He would just someone powers him down.
But it was just terrible. Terrible to watch, no good. And when you're one of the leaders of the footy club on good money, like, come on, long walk, short pier.
Essendon really needed that win there. Like they really need. They've got a tough run home from memory, and you've blown it, Bombers. You have blown it.
I think so.
Also, just quickly, disgraceful that Buddy is playing in this game.
Is he?
Yep, he got off.
I don't want to hear none of that because we're going to talk bets and then we're going to talk dummy of the week. And
I didn't know that.
And then we might have a shove.
Awesome.
Dan, you've just arrived just a bit early. It's been.
Awesome.
I've had a yarn to a few previous girlfriends. They've all agreed.
My life story.
It's a bad habit.
Yeah, well, one I refuse to break.
As long as you enjoy it, mate.
Exactly.
Jeez, that's big white boy summer. All right, let's talk bets. Mills and Lloyd and Parker and Heppel, 25 touches apiece. I'm just going straight down the line on this one. I don't like uncertainty. I'm just going straight down the line. Mills, Lloyd, Parker, Heppel, 25 touches. Nick Hind for 20, and that's paying $6.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Nothing else to add?
Jordan Ridley, 20 plus.
Yeah, go on then.
He's back taking the kickouts. Why not?
Go on then, yeah. Whip that in.
Love it.
What the bloody
Nathan Lovett Murray.
Well,
yes, we do.
Boys, now, as you alluded to, there is some big news regarding Big Budwar Franklin. You're about to hear all about it because now it's time, fellas, that we did our regular segment, Dummy of the Week.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Dummy of the Week.
Whoop, holla. Boys, Dummy of the Week. Dummy of the Week time.
It's that time.
You opened, you got the lid off, all right? You loosened the lid. It's now time to take it all off. What's happening with Buddy?
I'm a pest. So, he gave Luke Ryan the people's elbow to the side of his head. I don't know if you saw this one.
I saw the elbow.
One, Des.
I watched the
ball in the left hand. He's trying to shake him off. Takes the ball over to the right. Cocks back. See you later. AFL's decided that's not classed as medium impact because he was off balance and being twisted. So it's hard to really adjudicate that he meant to do that.
You've got to give him one.
No, you don't.
You've got to give him more than one, really, but you've got to give him at least one.
I tell you now, the AFL and the Swans are that invested in getting Buddy to 1,000. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And they're looking at him thinking, look, he's wrong side of 33. He's in the last year of his contract. Considering his previous injury history, how certain is it that he plays out a full season next year? What if he gets injured in his very next game?
I hate these guys.
What's the
idiots? Like,
He's got what, 4 games?
I like Buddy too.
He's got 20, 21, 22, 23. So there's 4 games, and then he's got let's assume at least 2 finals. Okay, at least so there's 6 games there. He's going to have to get an average of 3 goals a game in order to get there. That's what they're banking on. This is no different to Cochin getting off with that high tackle in the prelim back in 2017. We need to have Cochin in Victoria. No different. AFL, pull your heads in. This is outrageous.
But we can sit here and we can argue and say, AFL, pull your heads in. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
It's Buddy Franklin. He literally could have picked him up and given him a tombstone pile driver, and they would have been like, look, Luke Ryan deserved it.
Good for marketing.
Luke Ryan deserved it.
Good for marketing.
It's all Luke Ryan's fault.
I don't even hate it because, like, I like Sydney at the moment, and I really rate Sydney, and I would love to see him in the top 4. I don't care who they knock out. Hope it's not Geelong and the Dogs, because I've got them to win the flag. But and they're not going to knock out those 2. But you get my point.
Yeah.
Like, it's really good. It's good for Sydney, and I like it. And I'll like it when they play Essendon and Buddy's out there. But that's just stupid.
And see,
I didn't even know that. I thought he was going to get a game.
Even at half time, or it might have been after the game. Can't even remember.
If it was Toby Green, he got 3. Come on.
Absolutely. I was sitting there watching halftime show, post game, whatever it was. They had Derm and Kingy there. Derm said, you got to cut this crap out. Not because it's Lance Franklin, but you got to cut out the elbows to the head. He said the elbow is just about the most dangerous part of the body. And if you're going to be serious about cutting out head-high contact, it's got to be 3 to 4 weeks minimum.
He makes stupid, Dermot's an idiot on commentary. And I like Dermy as a mullet beast, but you need to get my as a player. But that is the best call I think Dermot's ever made.
But look, and Buddy's been doing this for the last couple of weeks, just niggly little off the ball shit, and it's been starting to look worse and worse. Yeah. And now he does this, and it's just a joke. It just shows up the MRO and the AFL as being biased as hell.
Yeah, and if anything, it actually makes Michael Christian look even more stupid.
Well, I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think you could divide by 0.
Because Michael Christian is a dummy. We've said it multiple times. You've got no idea what he's doing.
He might be dummy of the year.
But then, not too early to call. Then every time it goes to the tribunal, seemingly every single time, decision gets overturned, no matter what it is, whether it's no suspension or a suspension. Yeah, his decision gets overturned. It just makes him look like an absolute blithering moron. And
the world would be better off without him. Speaking of that Dockers Swans game, a quick shout out to a favourite on the show here. We love her. Everyone at home loves her as well. It's Kelli Underwood, who uttered the elite phrase, and I quote directly, "Everything they turn touches to dust at the moment, the Dockers."
Right.
Oh, it's like a kid that wants to go to McDonald's, and then when mum says, "No, we've got food at home," and they get home and it's a 3-day-old salada biscuit that's just gone not crisp anymore. It's got that bend in it before it snaps, and then you put it in the mouth and you're trying to chew, and there's no chew to it. It just sort of gives way against your teeth, and that's it. That's the equivalent. But McDonald's in this instance is Dennis Cometti, and the 3-day-old salada that just does not want a bar of your chewing is Big Kel.
Correct. Very funny.
If you're going to pull out lines like that, get them right, please, for the love of God.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Everything they turn touches to dust at the moment for the Dockers.
That's horrifying. Horrifyingly bad.
I've got another one though. This one genuinely annoyed me here. So look, Tigers, they've lost, 5 of their last 6 games at the minute.
Yeah.
Not looking good, okay? Are they still the reigning premiers?
Yeah. Oh, one could say that.
Yeah. Did they win the last held grand final in the AFL?
Yeah.
I would assume?
Yes. Right.
So they're currently holding the flag.
Yes.
Currently holding the flag, that's fine. Which means that Damien Hardwick is the current premiership winning coach. Is that right?
The first lady of the AFL, some would say.
Now, this is in Fox Sports. Jeepers, steady, I'm not hearing none of that. July 26th, David Zeta from Fox Sports writes, with Richmond's premiership aspirations in 2021 all but over, North Melbourne premiership player David King has questioned whether coach Damien Hardwick should look for a new challenge at a rival club rather than eventually exit in the turbulent manner of some of his peers. Speaking on Fox Footy's first crack, the state of the coaching landscape prompted King to put forward, quote, a philosophical discussion without trying to sack anyone. He reckons Damien Hardwick's been at the club for a dozen years. Yeah, great, nah. But I wonder if Damien sits back and says, do I want to be in the same situation as Don Pike, et cetera, or do I make the decision I've done enough with this group? I've been great for the club, but there's a bit of tension and I don't need to go into it. I'll just leave.
For a bloke with the last name King, that is not a king call.
Absolute court joker.
That's the jester.
Yeah. Come
What an
on.
idiot.
You got to be... why on earth would he walk now?
They've been bad for like
3
months.
seconds.
Like 2-3 months they've been bad.
Imagine if the
And
second...
they still might make finals and win the flag. You don't even know. They could pull it.
Imagine
That's
when
so bad.
When Clarko, that first year that the Hawks fell off, okay, didn't make finals. That first year after their big stretch, if Kennett had taken Clarko aside and said, Clarko, you're fired. The world would have been like, are you mental?
Yep.
Bruv, one bad year and you're turfing him.
He's even had a bad year.
Hardwick's won 3 flags in 4 years and you're looking at getting rid of him? You're talking about even entertaining the idea of moving him on? Put your head in a swimming pool 3 times, take it out twice. This is ridiculous.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, mate. That's one of the worst calls I have heard all year. One I did hear on the weekend, though, not quite as bad, because I've only got one little dummy to finish us off here, was during the Richmond Tigers versus the Geelong Cats on the weekend. And Sydney Stack made a little bit of an error in the back line, errant kick, turned it over, gave it to Geelong. Geelong proceeded to kick a goal straight away.
They do that.
They do. Good teams will do that. And Gary Lyon said...
Yeah, man.
That poor turnover by Sydney Stack there, that's one of the reasons he struggled to get into this team in the last 12 months. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the world.
No.
I never proclaim to be, but I do proclaim to be pretty sensible. Do you reckon it could have had something to do with the fact that he was actually suspended for 10 games and then sat rotting in a West Australian jail cell doing absolutely no fitness work whatsoever? Came back to the club, was still suspended for a further 2 games to start this year, and his fitness base was pretty much that of mine.
Hard to do much in the way of skills work when you're in a 6x6 cell.
Boys, someone's on the phone. It's Carlos Kebab. He has something to say about that.
Exactly right. And look, that's not even taking into account Sydney Stack's mental health. In all seriousness.
No, we're not having a crack at Sydney Stack whatsoever.
Because in Sydney, Sydney Stack probably did want to take a little bit of time off footy, get himself right. No doubts about it. What has that got to do with his skill work?
No, nothing.
He made a bad turn.
He made one mistake. He actually played quite well, I think. He was one of the shining lights of Richmond's shit game.
The main reason he couldn't get into the team was because he wasn't allowed to play.
I would have thought.
That's
a big part of it.
That's just my 2 cents.
And as someone, as a Gary Lyon, being a person of power, it's just a stupid comment. What an idiot. They're all idiots.
Do you have a wife?
I do.
You do have a wife?
I do.
Gary, stay away, Gary. Stay away, Gary.
It's big trouble for me.
Oh, stay away, Gary. All right, let's look at the Sunday games, fellas. Speaking of the Hawks, it's the Hawthorn Hawks. Speaking of the Hawks, it's the Hawks. Unbelievable. Versus the Brisbane Lions. Fellas, Brisbane were in an absolute shit spot the last 2 or 3 weeks. Played themselves into some form against the Suns, who seemingly got infested by the demon that was in the Lions team when they turned up.
Well, you know said what they played themselves into form. Gold Coast played themselves out of form.
Genuinely.
That's it.
The bad spirits and juju that was in the Lions transferred to the other Queensland team, and then that was the end of that. Look, this is potentially just a nice live kill for the Lions to just get themselves back into a nice bit of consistency, continuation of form. And let's be real. Look, if the Hawks couldn't scrape past the Crows, I don't think they're going to scrape past the Lions. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's at UTAS. I don't care. I'm seeing the Lions here, 1-39. Boom.
I've got them 1-39. I can see this being a bit of a struggle spot early because Lions have been doing that recently, especially against like average teams. Like they lost to St Kilda 2 weeks ago. We can't forget that.
No.
So I think 1-39. They did play really well, but I feel like Gold Coast playing horrendously, like 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10 football, isn't the story. The story is how good Brisbane played. But I think they played so well because Gold Coast were just dust. Gold Coast were dust.
Yep.
To what that commentator said.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I'm on the fence. I'm probably leaning towards Lions 40 plus at the moment. Hawks, they just look like a team. Again, similar to Collingwood, the stuff in the media is obviously just playing a bit of an effect on them at the moment. The whole Clarko, Sam Mitchell, Caroline Wilson fiasco. And Caroline Wilson...
Is that the worst threesome that you could possibly imagine?
Oh, it was the worst thing to listen to.
I like Sammy Mitchell and Clarko. I've got no issues with them. I detest Caroline Wilson.
Okay.
That's That's the only reason I said it was the worst thing to listen to.
No, it's the worst threesome that you could imagine. But
I mean, on Footy Classified last night as well, she was sat there. Even Hutchie was grilling her, saying, "What's the go with this then? Why won't you back up your claims?" Well, I don't need to do that. I stand by them. No, you do.
Yeah, I'll just make shit up and say what I want.
You absolutely do need to stand by them.
We did Dummy of the Week.
It's not dummy.
No, I'm just saying.
It's not dummy.
We're virgin.
This is concerning Hawthorn.
Yes.
And it's just crap. Absolute nonsense. Sam Mitchell and Clarko have been together for how long?
20-odd years.
I think they can last one more. I think they can manage one more.
I don't think so. I think you're right there. Hawks recruiting, though, has been dastardly all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Hardigan, Frost, these two key pillars in your back line.
We said this about Kyle Hardigan anyway.
O'Meara, I think, has been a dud.
Yeah.
And that's harsh, but compared to what, like, he was a number one draft pick, what they expected him to do and versus what he's done, I feel it's duddish.
I wouldn't call Frosty a dud. I don't mind him. He actually provides a little bit of run-off halfback that they don't get anywhere from
compared
anywhere
to
else apart from
Hardigan,
CJ.
he's an All-Australian compared to Hardigan.
And Hardigan is actual.
That's what we said. We said that. Well, he's obviously an ex-Crow. We know. We knew what they were getting. I was laughing. We got like a second, third round pick for it, whatever it was.
There's only so much recycling you can do that's going to pay off. And I think they hit such a sustained period of great recycled players. And now the wheels turned and they're just sifting through the bargain basement down at the Video Easy. R.I.P. Bless
That's very funny and a good
The only player that has come good the last couple of weeks, Jimmy Warpel.
Yeah.
He's actually been looking a little bit better again, which is good because I was getting a bit worried earlier on this year. He was in a right old funk, but he's been moved back in the middle and he looks all right.
But Clug and Lions, for the Lions, have equally had a nice little uptick in form the last couple of weeks. And I'm sorry, the Lions, they've just got too many players firing well across all lines. I don't know who goes to the Mercurial Joe Danaher. I don't know who goes there because all of the Hawks defenders are just bread and butter, meat and three veg kind of operators. And Joe, it will be dishwater for 1 second and he'll be caviar the next. You just don't know what to expect. And so there's just too much
He'll
uncertainty.
probably be caviar in this game, soft kill.
Probably.
He'll turn up.
That's what I was thinking.
I'd have thought. So Brisbane 1
4
to 39.
goals, 3.
Nice. Yeah, 12 touches.
Bets,
I got bets, baby. You talked about the Pell. Cardinal War Pell for 20 plus disposals. Thanks.
Right on it.
Lions and Rich for 25 disposals each. Tom Mitchell to keep doing Tom Mitchell tings, and he'll have 30 for mine. And then I like Zorko and Zach Bailey. Anytime goal scorers, that's paying about $9 all up.
Zachary Bailey killed us on the weekend.
Yeah, he did. He's due now.
I'm not happy.
No, he's due now.
But I got Zorko and I got Lions 25 plus as well, so perfect. Been
Beautiful.
reading others' myths.
Now, the Sunday game here is an interesting one. There's currently nothing worked out in the way of locations, but it should still be an interesting clash between the GWS Giants and the Port Adelaide Power. Desmond Van Bus. It's White Boy Summer. Talk to me. Who's winning?
It's time to put the ultimate white boy to the test. It's the Des Dog of the
Ultimate
Week.
White boy.
I'm not going to lie. I don't even know what the odds are here, but Giants are going to be the dogs.
I'll find out.
Wherever they play, because there's probably not markets up because they don't know where it's going to be played.
It'd probably be sitting around 250
something like that. It could be more. Could even be more because they're starting to respect Port a little bit on betting markets. But Giants did what they needed to do against Essendon. They were struggling that first half and they lifted the second half, obviously. Actually, like most of the teams this round.
Yeah. I've literally got no idea what to make of the Giants at the moment.
No,
I've got no idea on a week-to-week
Neither do I.
basis. Do you tip them? Do you not tip them? You come up with all these reasons. Like I had tons of reasons not to tip them on the weekend. Then when Cogs went down, pulled out, I thought, absolute lock. There's no way Dons can lose this one. Kelly's carrying an ankle injury as well. And then all of a sudden, here's the bloody Giants again.
23 touches in a
and
goal.
I think they're going to surprise Port because Port are going to take them lightly. I feel like they're going to take them.
You know what was most interesting I found?
No odds. Sorry.
On just a completely
be
analytical level. Was,
Go for it.
Tim Taranto was basically taken completely out of the midfield rotation. Moved up forward.
I didn't like none of that. And Tom Green saw a good bit of time, a real good bit of time.
Just random. Not that obviously it worked.
They want that Rookie of the Year. That's what they want.
They probably do.
Or are they potentially trialling a bloke like Tom Green, giving him a bit more midfield time just in preparation if Kelly gets his skates on and decides to go back home?
Probably that.
Although Kelly had 95% of the centre bounce attendance.
No, I know
what you
that.
mean,
you see what I'm saying? Because that's where his best position
Correct.
is. And someone like Taranto, his best position's in the midfield.
Correct.
Squeeze someone out, put in someone like Tom Green. I wonder if there was a little bit of, I wonder.
And my thing is, if Giants play like they did in that second half against the Bombers, and I think there's a 50-50 chance they do, I think they beat Port.
Literally 50-50. You got no
These
idea.
teams have been testing Port. I know Port might be winning by 20, or they beat St Kilda by 13, but they've been winning by comfortable margins.
Yep.
But they've been getting tested. They've been getting tested, and it's only going to take one week. They're going to get that jab and they're going to be rocked in the first round.
There's 2 trends to keep an eye on here. Number 1 is that GWS seem to do good, and then the very weekend afterwards they do shite. Okay, so if the trend holds, they're due a poo one.
And the second is that flared jeans are back, right?
The third, okay,
I wish.
aside from this, second one is that Port Adelaide, as you rightly said on this show not too long ago, is that Port Adelaide are a gatekeeper team. Yeah. They beat up anyone below them. They lose to anyone above them. Giants are currently below them. Therefore, Port's going to win against the team below them.
Simple
2
math,
trends combine, meet in the middle. Port's winning this 1-39.
The nice thing is with gatekeepers, though, sometimes teams do roll over the top. And if Giants win this, then I think they're as good as locked in to the finals.
That'd be huge. I can't see that.
The big thing for Port, I think Butters and Desmond will be better for having a run out as well. Yeah. That was the perfect team for them to play last week. Bit of a limp dick team in Collingwood, so they just managed to get the cobwebs out a little bit. Especially Desmond hasn't played for so long.
A couple of minutes.
What they genuinely need is they need Aliir to lift, because he early on in the season he looked like recruited of the year by. Him and Nick Hind look pretty much neck and neck for it. Elias just dropped off the face of the earth. Had 7 disposals.
They've been rolling him big time as well.
Absolutely.
They've just been getting dominated, which is weird because I watch Port and I watch Aliir and I know like what he's capable of and what he can do.
We all know what he's capable of.
And we're watching it and I'm like, why is he not doing this? Yeah. Like, why is, and it's not like a knock on him or anything, or it is a slight knock, but like I'm not hating on the bloke because he's the man. I love it. But you watch him and you're like, oh, why is he not doing this? Like, why is he not? Like, how's he not getting to it? Like, he can get to it.
He's got to play himself into form here.
Definitely.
So you're Giants.
I'm Giants.
I'm Port 1-39.
Port 1-39. Look, GWS.
Just a risk for me. Des Dog of the Week risk, baby. It's one of my least confident Des Dogs of the week.
Take that for what it's worth, punters. Look, GWS will push here, but I think the test is for Port to hold their nerve and don't put their head down, and I think they'll do that. Yes. Dan, do you have any bets?
No, because there was no markets up.
Of course, typical Dan.
So,
typical Dan being sensible.
Too sensible, man.
Too sensible. Look, I just had a look back through the stats from last week, as well as typical trends, that sort of thing. Whitfield for 25. He looked great off halfback. Cumming for 20 plus. He had 22 last week, and I know he's at a flat spot, but Port do enjoy bombing a ball forward.
More than anyone else in the comp.
Yes, they do. And if they keep doing that, Cumming should feast. Taranto, Wines, and Boak all should have...
Every time.
Cumming.
Yeah. Should feast.
Cumming should feast. This white boy song. Wines and Taranto and Boak should have 25 apiece. Tom Green, if he stays in the centre like he did last week, will have 20. And Ollie Wines for 30. Perfect. All disposals on that one. Don't know what it's paying. Have a look.
You're paying something.
And also,
it'll give money.
Come on, Ollie. Daddy needs you for the multi. Let's go.
Yeah, I want Ollie to win that. I'd backed him in.
Let's go. I need him for that Brownlow. I need it.
We're almost there. It's getting to that pointy end of the season. Exciting. And we're getting to the pointy end of the round. One last game. It's the Freo Dockers at Optus Stadium versus the Richmond Tigers.
This game is a dead set car crash.
Am I too forward in saying Tigers are a spent force? That's it. Job done.
Well, how do you know?
5 losses in 6 games. I don't know.
Are they playing this Optus? Is this Optus?
It's at Optus, yeah.
But the Dockers, sorry, I almost said Giants, and Dockers without Fife and Walters.
I think Richmond are going to do it easy.
Walters doesn't move the needle for me anyway because he's been shit all year. Pardon my French, like he's just been no good.
Richmond without Dusty.
That's what I'm saying. This game's a car crash. Like in theory, no one wants to watch this game because it's 2 teams well below the peak of their powers. But it's almost like you can't look away because it probably couldn't be a pretty close game.
This could be the most stupid call like I've ever made, which is it's not the most stupid.
That's a mighty call in itself.
Yeah, it's top 20, sitting from 15 to 20. But Richmond, I know they lost by 38 points or whatever, and they were 50 points down, but they only really got smashed in one quarter. They weren't as bad as what people think. They weren't as bad against Geelong. That first quarter was close. They just didn't put it away.
Dead set honest with you. Geelong could not have given less of a shit. And they just did not. They just didn't
put him away.
Not even getting. They didn't get into first gear, mate. They didn't get out of neutral.
Radicalea looked unreal.
They did not get. They did not get out of neutral.
22.
They just knew they were going to win that game from start to finish, and they just played like.
But Richmond didn't look like horrible. They just didn't put it away. They just didn't put the. They were actually played exactly like St Kilda. They just didn't, except they didn't miss because they didn't actually get on the board.
I don't want to go the early crow here because we've seen how big calls can make you look like an absolute toolbox later on when it doesn't come off.
Absolutely.
Indeed. But Tigers, it looks like from the outside looking in over the last 2 months, they're now starting to hit a point where hard work is being overshadowed by a lack of talent on field. You know, Jack Ross, who's gone from not their best 30, let alone their best 18 to get on the park, is now having 25 touches in the midfield.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like blokes like Mansell and they just wouldn't have got and this is not to disparage these guys, they're just doing the best they can with what they've got. But you go back 18 months, 2 years ago, these guys wouldn't have been within cooey of this team.
Yeah.
And interesting, whereas on the other hand, the best for Freo on the weekend, Brayshaw, Chera, and Sarong.
Chera might have sealed the bag with his performance.
But
Huge.
But that's the three kids for Freo that you want to be in your best week in, week out. You don't want Walters to be in your best. You don't want Fife to be in your best.
Well, there's no dangers of Walter being.
But you don't want Money to be in your best. You know what I mean? You want these young blokes to be lifting and pulling the game by the scruff of the neck, and saying we want to get the win here.
Couldn't agree more.
And it's great for Freo. I think if it was in Melbourne, I'd say I'd be leaning more towards the Tigers, but I'm saying Freo 1-39.
I'd love Freo to do it. It's going to sneak him into the 8th spot contention, but I think the Tigers are just going to roll over the top here.
I've got the Dockers purely because it's in Perth. That's it. Yeah. Like it's just. But again, how do you know? Like this game is literally a crapshoot, absolute crapshoot. Whoever turns up and wants it more, they're going to be getting the chocolates. I was actually real interested that Bolton couldn't get more of a run in the midfield, and they were running Matt Parker through the centre a lot of the game.
Yeah. The commentators were loving Matt Parker. I think he was average.
Yeah, but he's
feel good story. And rightly so.
Well, not only that.
I'm
If
happy
he
for it.
was playing in Richmond's top team when everyone's fit and healthy, he's exactly the kind of player they want. He just runs his guts out from start to finish, 100% effort. Yeah, he gives away a few free kicks because he gets a bit over exuberant, but that's what the Tigers want.
Exactly.
That's exactly what the Tigers want. I actually rate Matt Parker pretty highly.
Oh, so do I. I just think he didn't play as well.
I was just quite surprised he was in the midfield and Bolton was not.
Are they trying to make him dusty? Is that what they're thinking?
Kind of looks the same.
That's what I was thinking.
Looks a bit like Kmart Dusty.
They're steady on.
He does though.
I agree.
I'm just saying because of the tats.
Tats, haircut.
There's a little bit of that. Doesn't quite have the pedigree, but then who does? All right, let's talk a few bets for this one. Wait. I said Dockers. You said Tigers. You said Dockers. Good. Interesting. Okay, let's talk bets. Brayshaw 25 for mine. Shy Bolton will have 20. He's back home. He loves it in Perth. He's from the West. You love it there. Yep. James Aish, 15 off a halfback. Daniel Rioli, he's had 15 touches, I think the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Playing off halfback.
Exactly. He's had over that the last 2 or 3 weeks that he's been in the side. I expect him to continue that with a nice wide expanse. Matt Tabbin at anytime goal in the first half. And Jack Riewoldt anytime goal in the second half. Put them together. It's about
shout out to
650.
Riewoldt.
Like
Riewoldt's goal, after the siren goal.
Nice.
With the over. So it was over 151, I believe the over was. Obviously, it fluctuates before the game. So say anywhere, if you got the over, it was 149 to 151 and a half. Jack Riewoldt, goal, bang, go straight to 152. So the over hits.
Love that.
Sorry if you bet the under, but a couple of my boys bet the over.
Absolutely.
And
love that.
far out, that's a good luck story
The
right there.
The only thing I had to add was a Shy Bolton anytime goal instead of the 20 plus.
Yep.
If he's going to sit up forward, I don't want any piece of the 20 disposals market. I would rather him get a goal. $1.44, easy money.
I think you probably do both.
Don't mind that whatsoever. Don't mind that whatsoever. Well, we are off to go and enjoy the start of White Boy Summer. And as we said, don't racialise us. Don't add us. It's an inclusive thing. We are, of course,
know that.
We are, of course, white, as we agree. We're not sort of trans-racialist people like that Rachel Dolezal who thinks she's black or whatever. It's not us. We know who we are. We know what we're about.
And we love everyone.
And we're inviting you to come in, join us. Join us in White Boy Summer.
Absolutely.
Join us. And join us again next week when we look at round 21 of AFL season 2021. I am Rich, of course. Sensible Dan. Desmond Van Bus.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Yeah, hit us up, boys.
Like, share and subscribe. See you next week.
And girls.